Yep. We in here. Let me know if you in here. Let me know what it's looking like, what it's sounding like. It's your boy. You already know what it is. You already know what it is. Let me know if you in the building. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me know if you can see me. Let's get this thing started. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let me know what I'm sounding like. Let me know what I'm looking like. If I need to make any adjustments, let me know. Let me know. Let me know if I'm in high def. Yeah, Alex, what's good? Manny, what's good? Jason Marshall, what's good? Brandon, what's cracking? Robert, what's cracking? Chris Crane, you already know the vibes. I need the Honcho Mafia in here. Carlos, what's good? Icy Nate, what's up with you, boy? Part of my Jag in the building. Yeah. You already know, making sure I'm sounding good. Mike Nyes, okay, that's what's up. P Ring 1700, what up? Bowl Cut Bandit, Liddy, yo, that's a crazy name. Bowl Cut Bandit is a crazy name. Herman, what's good? JB, what's up with it, boy? Yo, you already know what it is, man. You can see it on here. Tonight is going to be a draft special. We getting in that draft bag super heavy. All the questions, we're going to try to answer as many questions as you can, as we can. Rod Smith, what up? Callie, what up? We're just gonna let it marinate like neck bone juice, okay? We're gonna let it marinate for a minute. Let everybody get a chance to get up in here. Who up in here? Carlos, yeah, Icy Nate. You seen Jalen Richard's new tweet? Well, Vegas, here I come. Nah, I didn't see that, but we'll get into that too. Hit them likes, man. Hit them likes. Get up in here. We almost 100 deep already. Almost 100 deep. We a minute 50 in. Bowl Cut Bandit, what? Let's do this. Khalil, what's good? Sebastian, what's good? How much you bench, Honcho? Last time I maxed out on a bench, it wasn't that impressive, to be honest with you. I think I got 295 up twice. So I would assume that 300 would be my max. But that was a while ago. Raider Zach, what's up with it? I see you, MVP, big fan. Yo, that's what's up, J Day. Wipe your feet. Yeah, you already heard the boy. All right, so look, we're 100 deep in here, man. My man is short on time. I got a special guest in here. Now, check it out. I'm going to bring my special guest on. We're going to kick it for as long as we can kick it. Then I'm going to stay on and try to follow up any questions y'all got, any questions that we didn't get answered. I'll try to address those. So I'll bring my guest on. When he's out, I'm going to stay on for probably another hour. So Docs is in the building. What's up? That's the young GOAT right there. Brian Honcho, what's good? Watching from work. Appreciate y'all making time for the young boy, man. I really appreciate that. So look, with no further ado, yeah, somebody go check on Graf, man. He was taking a lot of shots last night. He was out there wilding last night for respect, man. I synced him, man. Jay Raider, what's good? All right, so here we go. Now look, ask any questions you want. Ask as many times as you want. The only way to get a guaranteed answer is if you hit them super chats. I'm not saying you got to, but it is going to probably be a lot of questions and a lot of information going back and forth between me and my guest. So you already know what time it is, all right? So look, with no further ado, let me bring to the platform, all right? Now, let me do this the right way, okay? Let me do this the right way. This is a Las Vegas Raiders All-22 film analyst. This is a college football analyst. This is an NFL draft expert and somebody that I respect. So with no further ado, let's bring to the platform my guy, Sanjit T. What's up with it, my guy?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Making sure everything good. You sound good. You look good. Everything all right?
Absolutely, man. I can hear you perfectly fine. First and foremost,
hold on.
Can you hear me?
Hold on. Let me get my camera straight.
Okay.
All right, we good. Move it that way a little bit.
First and foremost, you can bench 295 twice?
For sure.
Damn, that's impressive, man.
For sure.
That's
move it back a little bit. Nah, man, it's not that impressive, man, as much as I work out. I mean, you know what I mean? When you work out a lot, good. When you work out as much as I work out, you should be able to do some damage. So, but yeah, that's what it is. So can you hear me good?
Yeah, absolutely. As clear as it could be.
All right, yeah, you clear too. You clear too. So say what? Hey, man, the chat, man, let them know you in here. I see a lot of people. Sanjit, is Sanjit or Sanjit?
Sanjit.
Sanjit. See, I knew it. Yep. My executive producer over here, little punk ass, was saying it wrong. Sanjit is in the building, y'all. So look, you already know what it is. We're gonna talk a lot of draft stuff. We're gonna talk about a lot of stuff, man. We got a lot of stuff to unpack tonight. So get your questions in, man. And if you want to spam the comments with the questions so we can see it, do that. If you want to hit them super chats, we appreciate that as well. All right. So look, first of all, before we get into any questions, let me ask you, man, how long have you been doing the all 22 stuff, man?
So to be 100% honest, I started watching all 22 while I was in high school. Our coaches would sit us down typically once a week, and they will just show us. Our film wasn't all 22, right? Ours was just the typical, you got way back here.
Yeah.
But we would sit down and watch all tons of different things, and our coaches will point out like, hey, we want you to block this way, or this is what we're trying to do. Now we ran the veer offense in high school, and that's
gross.
It's an interesting offense, but it is a zone scheme type of offense. So that was when I first started watching all 22. But when I really got into it, I would say it had to have been about 2 years after I got out of high school, which was my third year in college. I got into it, man, and I started just like, you should have seen some of my earlier videos. They were bad. I put it that way. They were really bad. I started a long time ago, and I've just now gotten more serious into it. I've started reaching out to tons of people in the football community to, sit down and have those conversations with these people and just try to better my understanding of the game, right? I feel like I've come so far in the last 2 to 3 years, just understanding the game of football, right?
Yeah, well, I'll definitely say, man, somebody who's still active in coaching and somebody who loves breaking down tape, you do a great job with that. I'm not even on no cap, no gas, but it was refreshing to see somebody actually break down film instead of just watching like highlights of something and then having a opinion. So I really respect the fact that you take that extra leap and get the actual footage, man. That's what's up.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, no doubt. So, we're about to get into this draft talk, but I got some super chats I want to get out the way first, just so we don't forget those, because y'all know I am not good with none of this computer shit, and I will be missing stuff. So, you know what I mean? If I miss it, let me know. But we got one coming in from Mr. Bonehead Garcia. Appreciate the donation. What's good, Honcho and Sanjit? You already know. We told you what's good. We out here chilling, man. Appreciate you. We got another one coming in from Sacktown Moore. Honcho, Sanjit, love you guys. Merrick, how does he compare to free safeties in past drafts? You know what, Sanjit? I'm gonna let you answer that right now. Go ahead, you can answer that, man.
All right. First and foremost, I was not a fan of Merrick. And let me tell you guys why I was not a fan of Merrick. I watched one tape, and that was the Louisiana Tech tape. And even as I rewatched it the other day, I still did not like it. However, because my man Honcho was so high on Merrick, I had to go back and I had to see what the hell is this guy talking about. And man, you're right, man. Straight up, Merrick is a beast.
Appreciate it.
And we'll talk about safeties whenever we get to it, or whatever question we get to it.
Yep.
Although I love his game, and I would say I think he's going to be a superstar in the NFL. There is a safety I think that is better than him, and I'll give that to you.
Hold on to that. I like that because I'm gonna want all the smoke when it comes to that topic. We got another super chat right here. We got my guy, big supporter, man, on my channel in this early infancy stages. Chris Crane, man, appreciate the donation. Makes me so happy to see my two All-Pro Raiders YouTubers together tonight. Question: edge rusher? If so, who and what round? Well, I'll answer that real quick. I think that edge rusher is not super high on the priority list for me. Now, I'm not speaking for the Raiders, just for me and what I see on film. I think we have some bodies there that we can work with. But as far as where we can take one, I mean, I don't think we could take one before the third round, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. What you got, Sanjit?
No, I totally agree with you, man. This edge class it's weak, in my personal opinion, man.
Yeah.
Kwity Paye is at the top of the list, and he's basically Cleveland Burrow, right? The guy cannot pass rush today. At least not pass.
I'm a
rush.
Michigan fan, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, and it looks like Michigan always puts these guys out there, man. That can't get after the quarterback. I would wait, man. I would highly suggest waiting. I think we can get a guy like Rashad Weaver, even Greg Rosal, maybe in the second round, or even maybe in the third round, right? You never know what could happen.
Yeah.
There's definitely a lot of depth, but I don't know if it's like good depth, right? It's just kind of like a bunch of average defensive ends. Yeah. Definitely a weak class, in my opinion.
What if Jalen falls to 48?
I would pull that trigger, man. Jalen Phillips, right?
Yep. If he falls to 48.
I would possibly pull the trigger. I'll be 100% honest. I did start my draft, getting into the draft a little bit late. Edge is a class that I have not spent as much time in, right? I kind of started doing it in the last week. Jalen Phillips, I've only watched him once, and I watched him while I was watching Greg Rosal. So I watched him at the same exact time. If it came down to it with pick 48, now keep in mind, right, the 48th overall pick, that's the 48th best college player coming out of
supposed
college,
to
right?
be. It's supposed to be.
Yeah, so I don't know if that's a player that I would reach for, not necessarily reach, but a player I would take a defensive end when I don't know if we really need a defensive end, right? Like,
I hear you.
We have a bunch of different needs. So what would you do?
Honestly, I'm not, like I said, I'm not taking an edge rusher in the third. And since we have back-to-back third rounders, I think 79 and 80, I wouldn't take one before 80. I wouldn't take one at 80 or above. You know what I mean? And we'll get into that. I got some stuff that I want to put out there for you. See where you want to go with that. But I just don't think edge rusher is a top priority for me. I definitely think we got to shore up that offensive line. I think we got to shore up that secondary. And I think linebacker is also something that we'll have to address because I just think we're super thin at linebacker. We got a donation coming in for Delta Sportsman. Appreciate that. Super chat coming in from Mr. Raider Nation. Your Raider top 5. I'm not sure, man. Elaborate on that. I'm not sure what you mean as far as Raider top 5. I don't know if you want me my top 5 Raiders of all time. I'm not sure if that's what you mean. So just let me know, man. Get in the chat. Let me know if that's what you mean or not. Donation coming in from Graphic Raider, man. Appreciate you, bro. You already know the vibes. Appreciate you. I think you got something on the way with Sanjit, so I'm sure that's going to be a movie, man. But appreciate the donation. Thank you. All right, so we got the super. Oh, damn. All right, hold on. All right, we got Mike Nizer with the donation, man. Appreciate it. Love both of your channels. Appreciate what you give to the nation. Absolutely, man. And I put a hashtag out there the other day and it said for the culture. And to me, it's not about views. It's not about subscribers. It's just about what are you bringing to the table, right? What are you bringing for the culture of Raider Nation? And I just think people like Graphic, Sanjit, and a couple other guys are just actually bringing. They're offering something and bringing something to the table for the culture, for the nation. And that's why he's live with me right now. And I really appreciate him taking the time. So yeah, let's get into some questions, man. All right. So right off the jump, I want to know what you feel is our biggest overall draft need this year. The biggest need. I know we got a couple, but give me your biggest need and why.
All right, so I really want to talk about this. That's a great question. You know, people ask me the same question. I'm glad that you asked that question.
You already know.
Here's the thing, right? Like, if we're gonna look at pick 17 and say let's fill our biggest need, I don't really know if we really have an absolute sure need, right? Like most people would say, well, it's right tackle, free safety, or defensive tackle, right? That's what most people would say is those 3 positions. But if you think about it, we have Denzel Good, who might be able to play right tackle, right? He's half of his career outside of this past season. He's played at right tackle. So he's done it in the past. And then if you look at free safety, we do have Carl Joseph. We just picked him up, right? He could be a short-term answer, 1 or 2 years.
Hell no.
Defensive tackle, we have, we just picked up 3 defensive linemen. I don't know if we really have a need, right? But obviously, if you ask me what is our biggest need, I think the biggest need the Raiders have is they need to get a difference maker, right? A guy like Marlon Humphrey that's going to force turnovers, a guy that's going to be like Marcus Peters and get those interceptions, right? We need a guy that can make a difference today, right? And there's only a couple of defensive players coming out of the draft that would make that difference on the defense side of the ball. It has to be a linebacker, right? It 100% has to be a linebacker. I feel like that's the one position that can make that instant upgrade to the defense, right? That could have that difference-making ability. What do you think? What would you say is the biggest draft need?
I mean, it's hard for me because I'm biased, man. And I spent, I coach DBs, I played DB, I'm a defensive guy, and I just felt like our secondary was so pitiful, man. And just not just the talent, but the effort and the scheme and just the way they went about their business. I would say that we definitely, a high priority for me has to be a ball hawking safety, especially knowing that Gus likes to run single high. Now, if we were going to run the traditional 4-3 and run a lot of cover 2 quarters and keep both our safeties out of the box, I wouldn't prioritize a free safety that high. But when you're talking about somebody needs to be able to go sideline to sideline and actually make a play on the ball, not just be in the area. We had a lot of guys that were in the area to make the play, but just never made plays on the actual football. To me, if you have an opportunity to get the best, right, safety in the draft, in my opinion, right? I know you talked about you got another guy, but if you feel like Trayvon Merrick is the best safety and he has to be at least safety has to be at least a top 2 need. If you get an opportunity to take the best safety in the draft, I just think you have to pull the trigger and do that. If that's what you think.
So I agree with you, right? I do think we need a guy that at the free safety position that can make a difference like that, right? Let's just say Merrick gets picked before the 17th pick. Do you and do you feel like there's another safety you would take there, or maybe with pick 48?
Because to be completely honest, as much as I love Merrick, and everybody knows this, as much as I love Merrick, to me, he's probably a guy that you would on a normal draft, you would probably get him at 25 or 26. Yep. Right. But it's just that we have 17 and we need it. You're probably going to have to go for him. Right. So, no, if there's not another safety that I think I would pick in the top 50, honestly, in this draft. That's just my opinion. I don't think there's another safety that I would pick at top 50 because the drop off is so far to me from the top guy and the next 2 guys is that I don't think I can go there at 48 either.
All right. Let's just stick to safeties, man.
Let's get into it.
Give me your top safeties. Give me your top safeties.
My top safeties. Hold on, man. Don't let me have to pull out my papers a little too early, man. Before I get in that, Callie Rays, appreciate the donation. Big love to both of you. I wasn't feeling Kuiper's mock draft. We need defense. Defense wins championships. Yes, I totally agree with you. He did actually get Richie Grant, but I'm just not that high on Richie Grant at 48, and there's no way you're going to tell me at 48 he was the best player available. But so how deep do you want me to go into my free draft, my free safety rankings, man? What do you want to know? Top 5?
Yeah, top 4 or 5 is fine. Yeah,
all right, man. My top 5 safeties. Number 1 is Trayvon Merrick, TCU. Number 2, which is kind of suspect because I don't know if he's going to play at safety, but my number 2 safety, skill set wise, is Elijah Molden. Right, that's just who I feel. He's 5'10". He's not super small. He's same size as Carl Joseph, but he has the instincts to me to be that type of safety. Number 3, I actually have a Darius Washington as my number 3 safety. My number 4 safety would be Jamar Johnson. My number 5 safety would be Richie Grant. Those are my 5. And let me tell you, when I do my top 5 or my top anything, it's not necessarily based on these are the 5 best. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's based on who I would want to coach, who I would want to see in our system with Gus, and who I think will make a difference in our defense. Now, for some other defenses, you might have more box safeties, more free safeties, bigger, smaller, tacklers, coverage guys. So these are just my guys that I would want to see on my team, right? Those are my 5 guys. Let me know.
Okay. So I don't disagree with any of your guys, right? They're good players. Obviously, that's not how my list is, for sure. Definitely not.
That's why you're here, baby.
Let me give you my list. And,
give me the list.
So I'll start with number 5. Right? We'll start at the top and we'll come downwards.
I like it.
To build it up a little bit. Number 5, I do agree with you. I do like Elijah Molden a ton, right? The one thing I'm not 100% sure is he did play a lot of slot this past year, but he definitely did play a lot of safety. Now, do you think if the Raiders took Elijah Molden, I don't know where he'll go, right? Maybe 2nd or 3rd round. Is he a free safety? Because I don't see that in his game, right? I feel like he's more of that box safety / slot corner. What do you think? I
mean, the thing I like about Elijah Molden is he has the things you can't teach, right? Like when you talk about just pure instinct and just fluid hips, getting in and out of breaks, being able to come up and take on reroutes and just being able to open his hips and change direction. I just feel he does that better than a lot of guys in the draft.
Absolutely.
And if you're going to play free safety, in the beginning, you might not be a natural free safety, but when you have the tools that Molden has, I think you can convert over there. And to be honest, I think if you take a guy like Elijah Molden, let's say you get him at 48 or whatever the case, 79, I still think that later in the draft, you can go get somebody who you might feel is more of a natural free safety. And now you kind of cover 2 bases, right? You got your slot corner, which can be Molden, and then you have that depth at safety with another pick. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. All right. So at 5, I got Elijah Molden.
At least he's in your top 5. Shit. At least he made a top 5.
Number 4, I have a Richie Grant, and I rewatched Richie Grant's tape. I don't think he's a scheme fit for the Raiders. You know, he played strong safety way more than he ever played free safety. At number 3, and this guy I think is 1,000% the scheme fit for the Raiders, and that's Indiana safety Jamar Johnson.
Okay.
I'm gonna assume you watched at least 2 or 3 of his games. The thing with Johnson is, one, he gets his hands on the ball, right? So like right off the bat, that's impressive. But he's super fast, right? Like he is faster than Merrick is, right? Like there's no question about it.
That's a fact.
His change of direction, the way he turns, and he understands football, right? Like he has the awareness, he has the IQ. When you watch a player, right, you just know that this guy plays at a different speed than other safeties, right? That's why I'm not huge on Richie Grant, because his speed, the way he plays, it's just not that different than the next safety, right?
Yeah.
Jamar Johnson, in my opinion, he just plays at a different speed, right? He's smarter. Yeah. He's just better, right? And then, of course, at number 2, I agree with you. Trayvon Merrick is the guy.
Wow.
He is, in my personal opinion, Merrick and Jamar Johnson, they're both smart players. They both understand the game of football. The difference between the two and why I would take Johnson over Merrick is because I think Johnson is a better scheme fit to play that free safety position, right? And that's the only reason I would take him over Merrick. But my number 1 safety in the class this year, and you let me know if you watched him. He's from FSU. His name is Hamza Nazardine. I think that's how you say it.
Yes.
This guy is a beast, bro.
You know what, Sanjit? Let me stop you right there, because I'm so glad that you didn't say Andre Cisco. That's how I know you watch film. That's how I know you watch film. And the fact that we got 4 of the same guys in the top 5, then I know I'm doing the right thing as well. But go ahead, continue on, man.
So Hamza Nazardine, first and foremost, is 6'4", 220 pounds, and he is fast. I said Jamar Johnson plays at a different speed than everybody else. This guy plays at a different speed, and this guy's 3 inches taller than the average safety.
Yeah.
Hamza Nazardine from FSU, my comp for him is Derwin James. He's just bigger than people. He's just as fast as any receiver. He opted out of 2020. He didn't play. Or no, I take back. He did play, but I think he only played in 2 games.
Yeah.
And then I think he opted out after that. So he did play in 2 games. But just watching him against like Clemson, you could not tell that anyone at Clemson was better or faster than this guy.
Yeah.
For anybody that has not watched his film, go watch his film. I think he's gonna be an all-pro player. Like and obviously that's why I put him as my number 1 safety.
Yeah.
Now here's the thing, right? Is he a scheme fit for the Raiders to play free safety? Obviously, he's not a free safety, right? That's 100% clear.
No.
However, there is one thing. If the Raiders took him with the 17th pick, I'd be super excited, right? Because I think he has that potential. Really? I would be 100% fine with it. Now,
no, bro.
I don't know if he's a first-round pick. I don't know.
I'm gonna tell you right now, he ain't.
Well, we'll see, right? We'll see what happens in the draft. Anything can happen in the draft. But I will tell you this, right? If the Raiders did take him with the 17th pick, we would have. And keep in mind, last year Gus Bradley played 3 safeties.
Yeah,
more than you would think, right? And what he would do is, instead of having that nickel, he would just put a safety there, right? Yeah. So you have eight guys defending the run. You have 2 linebackers, 2 safeties in the box with your 4 defensive linemen. You have your post safety. And if the Raiders were to take Hamza Nazardine, we would have Carl Joseph playing the post. We'd have Jonathan Abram and Hamza playing on the line of scrimmage. I think our defense would be real good with him.
My only first, let me address the Richie Grant situation, because I know a lot of people like Richie Grant. Listen, y'all have to understand, with the amount of stuff that I've seen on Richie Grant is a great practice player when it's like one-on-ones and then that's it. But as far as team defense, he gets lost in coverage way too much for me, and he doesn't possess the makeup speed, the recovery speed to fix those mistakes. And I just don't think that we can pick a guy before Jamar Johnson, before Molden, before Merrick, if he has those issues. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not huge on Richie Grant at all.
I'm not.
You said Andre Cisco, so I have Cisco. So here's the thing: I don't like him because I think he's a little bit too slow. Right, that's my personal opinion. He doesn't. He
gives up big plays, man.
Yeah, exactly. Tyree Gillespie and Andre Cisco, I would tie them as like my 6th
Really? Is it Gillespie or Gillespie?
I have no idea, but it's
from Missouri. I actually have Gillespie as there's two safeties that I have in my top 15 that I think are huge sleepers. And Gillespie from Missouri is one, and then Christian Uphoff would be the other guy who I think you could probably get super late or even he'll probably get drafted. But those are two guys. I think Uphoff is like 6'4", man. He's out of Illinois State. And I just feel like I came across him watching somebody else, and I started seeing him, and I'm like, wow, with that type of range and that length and that ability to make plays on the football, that's definitely somebody that I'm not saying for our team, but if 4 years from now we started hearing that name, I wouldn't be surprised, man. Honestly.
I've never heard of him, man. So
what?
I'm gonna have to check him out.
Look, man. Hey, come on now. You heard it here first, all right? We got a super chat coming in from Raiders for Life. I think you'll see a way better Carl Joseph under Gus. I don't disagree with that, but I still think you're going to see a way better Jonathan Abram. And in my opinion, they kind of both do similar things. So if I'm going to get a better Jonathan Abram, I just like the ceiling of Jonathan Abram a little more than I like the ceiling of Carl Joseph. That's just my opinion. Brent Childs, appreciate the donation. I would have killed to play for you, Honcho. Loving the show, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And anybody that wants to play for me, that's who I want to play for me. You know what I'm saying? We got one more coming in. What up, Honcho and Sanjit? You guys know your ish and love tuning in. We need Merrick. Hey, thank you so much. Who sent that in? That was Amazing Blue Raider. Hey, you already know what it is. You already know the vibes. So I'm glad we got to talk about free safeties first, because that position is such an enigma right now. It's like, to me, Trayvon, I just don't know, and I don't know how to pronounce the guy's name from Florida State. The only thing that scares me about the guy from Florida State, and I really hate to put these stereotypes on certain individuals, but sometimes you watch the film and it's like, when you have a guy that's that gifted and that athletic, right? It's like the curse of the gifted, right? They're allowed to cut corners and skip steps that other people don't have to do because they're so gifted. So for me, I just don't know if the discipline is there for him to just be the single high safety. And somebody like Merrick, to me, I never talked to him, but he plays like he's smart. Like he just plays like he's smart. The way he uses way he uses his range, the way he makes plays on the football, it just seems like when the ball's in the air, Merrick is going to find a way to make a play on it. And that's just why I'm so high on Merrick and not high on everybody else. And he's super strong. You're talking about somebody who benches over 400, somebody who squats over 600, hang cleans over 370. This is not a guy you're going to bully. You're not going to bully him. And I just like that he can be agile, mobile, and strong. And those things put together is just why I'm big on Merrick, honestly.
Yeah, so I agree with you. You know, I think Merrick has all that, 100%. I will say the difference between Merrick and Jamar Johnson is Merrick is a better coverage. If you wanted to line him up over a tight end, he'll shut any tight end down. And at the same time, you put him on Travis Kelce and then you put him on Tyreek Hill. He'll cover both of those guys. Yeah. He was a former corner, I think, coming out of high school, and then TCU converted him to a safety.
Both of them were. I think Jamar Johnson was a starting corner last year, 2 years ago for Indiana.
He could have been.
I think he was a starting corner, and then their safety got hurt, and he made the switch. The thing about Jamar Johnson, there's no red flags in this game. The only red flag you could have, and it's not even red, maybe it's yellow, would just be the experience at the position. You know what I mean? And I just think, obviously, we're talking about the difference between taking a guy at 17 and a guy in the 40s. If you take a guy at 17, he has to have the whole kit and caboodle. I think Merrick has that. Jamar Johnson might have a higher ceiling. I just don't know if we can wait to get there. You know what I mean?
And another thing with Johnson, and I know that it's probably not that big of a deal, is he is shorter, right? He does fall within that like safety range where I wouldn't want to be stuck in a situation where he has to cover a 6'8" tight end or a 6'6", 6'7" tight end.
Exactly.
Not saying that he can't do it, right? I'm sure.
I feel you. We got Dick Vitale. I don't think the NFL views safeties like the fans do. Look at the recent draft history. Safeties don't go in the first round that much. Sorry, fans. Appreciate the donation. But there's not always a need for a safety the way there's a need for a safety in this draft. You think about the Vikings are going to need a safety. We need a safety. The Jags might look to get a safety. There's probably 4 or 5 teams that could potentially go safety in the first round. Whether they do or not, but there is a little bit of higher demand. Sacktown Morgue with a donation. Sanjit, this for your background swag. Sanjit, man, where you at right now, man? I see you got the $300 racing chair, but damn, you ain't got a poster or nothing.
All right, so check this out, man. I have two. So I'm in my home studio, right? I work exactly where I'm sitting, right? This is my background, and honestly, this is where I make a lot of my videos. When I do interviews and stuff like that, I sit, which is just that down that way, which is the sofa, and that has the background and all that good stuff set up. I just didn't want to move everything, to be honest with you, because then tomorrow, then if I move it now, then I have an interview at 6 or like a meeting at 6.
Yeah.
I have to move everything back. You know, I don't want people to be like, "What the hell? Why does this guy have this fancy ass background set up interviewing us?"
Yeah, nah, I got you, man. Hey, look, man, you ain't gotta do nothing fancy over here, man. So look, this a real quick question, man. I know you like Barmore a lot. I just want to ask you real quick, man. What grade would you give our defensive line as it stands right now? Like, what grade would you give our defensive line with all the acquisitions we made, which I'm not happy about hardly any of them, but what would you give our starting defensive line right now?
I'm a little optimistic, right? I understand that the game of football is all about developing, right? There's no 99% of people that come into the NFL are going to be average players that develop into something, right? And 98% of them will never be superstars. Most players are not superstars, right?
Agreed.
Most players are your average players. The reason why I'm optimistic is because I see players like Cleveland Farrell, Max Crosby, who have shown parts in their game where you think to yourself, okay, well, Max has 16 or 17 sacks in his first 2 years. Cleveland Farrell can dominate anyone. There's no offense tackle that can hold him, right? The only part of his game that's missing is his pass rushing, right?
Okay.
And then you look at a player like Kendall Vickers, and I don't think a lot of people are that high on Vickers. As high as I am, I think Vickers is going to be our best defensive lineman.
Wow.
Obviously, we'll see how he develops, but go watch the first time we played the Chiefs, and you watch Vickers, and you would look at that guy and think this guy's special, right?
Yeah.
I was happy that we brought him back.
Yeah.
But to give you a short answer right now,
it's too late to give me a short answer. Shit, you already took 20 minutes.
I give us our defensive line right now. If it came to run defense, I'd say we're at a B+. If it came to pass rushing, I'd say we're at a C.
Lord have mercy. I wish you was my professor in college. Damn, you giving out grades like that. Yeah, I'm just not as optimistic, man. And it's only because I just haven't seen it come together yet. I think on paper we could do those things, but what do you think the chances are that you have Max Crosby and Cleveland on the field at the same time with Clee playing more inside? What do you think that looks like?
I think that's a real possibility, man. You know, you have Yannick Ngakwe coming. You don't bring him in, and Carl Nassib, you just brought him in the year before. You don't bring these guys in unless they have to play at the same time, right? You're not gonna write off Cleveland Farrell that quickly. Some of us fans might have already given up, and I shouldn't say us because I'm not one of those fans, but some fans have already given up on Cleveland Farrell. The same way they give up on Colton Miller. It's the same way they give up on Colton Miller, man. People have to develop, man. This is not. You don't get Aaron Donald every year. It doesn't happen. You don't get Patrick Mahomes every year.
You know what it is? You know what it is for Raiders fans is that we had one of those type of guys and we traded them. Like Khalil Mack don't come along all the time, and we actually had one. But
and I agree with you. I agree with you.
We had to do that.
No, and I agree with you. But I will say this, right? I think people put defensive tackles and defensive ends into the same category. Yeah, it's not the same category.
No, it's not.
There's three good pass rushing defensive tackles in the NFL.
Yeah.
Aaron Donald, Quinnen Williams, DeForest Buckner.
Yeah.
After that, every other guy gets 5 sacks a season.
Yeah.
But when you look at the defensive end, there's 20 defensive ends that get 12, 13, 14 sacks a year. Right? So when you're going to pay Khalil Mack $25 million, that's different than paying Aaron Donald $25 million, right?
I agree.
Khalil Mack's production, you can get that from another player at a cheaper rate. You can't do the same thing with the interior pass rushing defensive tackle.
I agree.
That's my opinion. I know it doesn't look like it's panned out. But I think getting rid of Mack was the correct thing to do.
At the time, I think we had no choice but to do that. Honestly.
Absolutely, man. And I'm a huge believer in you cannot pay any given player the max money at their position, right?
Yeah.
I would rather have the 8th best defensive end in the NFL than the best defensive end in the NFL because I would rather pay that 8th contract, right? That 8th overall contract based on cap, right? Yeah. The NFL is a cap-driven league.
That's a fact.
Especially if you want to build long-term, right? Yeah. If you want 1 or 2 good years, go for it. Spend all your money.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work like that long-term.
Nah, I got you. I'm with you on that. Who calling my phone? No caller ID. You get no play on my phone. So since we talking about, before we get too far, man, let me shout out everybody in the chat, man. We had 382 people, man. That's a blessing, man. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world, and y'all here with us talking Raiders, talking draft, and I'm sure I can speak for both of us when I say we appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. We got a super chat coming in. Before I get to that, I want to ask Sanjit this question. So we're talking about defensive line. Do you think that Gus Bradley, we know he likes to run the Leo position. We know that. I know it's not necessarily defensive line, but do you think that Leo position is already on the team right now? Do you think that position is filled right now, or is that something we got to go address still?
I think Yannick Ngakoue can play that position.
But then you would have to move him on both sides of the field.
That's the thing, right?
The Leo switches sides, I think.
That's the thing, because our defense is not big. We don't have that guy that, we have Cleveland Farrell playing right end. Yeah. We have Max Crosby playing left end. But I do think if you do have Yannick Ngakoue going both sides, that allows you to let Farrell play, allows you to let Crosby play.
I agree.
But I wouldn't, we're going to line that guy up depending on how the offense lines up. So, like, does that mean Max Crosby now has to get used to playing both end positions? Same with Cleveland Farrell.
Well, that's why those coaches get paid the big money, man. They got to figure that out. That ain't for us to figure out. Exactly. See, me, I'm a defensive guy and I like speed on defense. What if you let Carl Joseph play strong safety? We go draft a safety, sign a hooker, or sign Trey Boston or whoever's available, and you let Jonathan Abram come down and play that Leo position. I know he's a little undersized for that. But if you're going to have him next to the box anyway, so not all the time, but in certain situations, how would you feel having a guy that's 6'1", 6'2", 215, 4'4", and standing up, like almost on the line of scrimmage, man? How would you feel about that?
How would that look for you? I don't think it would be a good idea, honestly, because when a pulling offensive tackle that's 335 pounds is coming at you, Jonathan Abram's not going to be able to take that on, right?
Okay.
Imagine if you're telling the Leo, hey, you have to spill to the inside, right? A tackle's coming your way. You need to get to the inside. You think Jonathan Abram wants to go to the inside of an offensive tackle like that?
You know what? The worst part is I think he does, but it ain't good for his health.
Exactly.
It's not good for his health.
So I do think that could be an issue, right? I think we can address it. Micah Parsons could play that position.
Absolutely.
Right?
We're going to get there. We're going to get there. Okay. We're gonna get there. Let me get to the super chat. We got Wardson. Appreciate the donation. Sanjit and Honcho. Would you take Parsons over best free safety or offensive tackle? What are your thoughts on Parsons? See, on Parsons, BOTO. Everybody keep telling me that. I don't know what the hell that is, man. I don't have those analytics on mine. So let me know what you think about taking Parsons over the best free safety at 17.
I would take Parsons over any player in this draft.
Ooh, that's a hot take right there.
There's absolutely no one I would take over Micah Parsons. If Parsons there at 17 and the Raiders skip past Micah Parsons, whoever makes that decision, I'm going to start saying we need to fire them, because that would be the worst decision. That would be worse than taking Cleveland Farrell over Devin White. Like, that is a worse pick than that, right? Micah Parsons is a game changer. He's just better, man. Like, there's no way to put it. Parsons is just better. He's just a better football player.
He is, and I agree. There's nothing I can say that would change that. But since we're talking about a linebacker, let me talk about Jock for a second. Now, this is kind of off script right now, but I hear a lot of people saying we should take Jock because he could play in the slot. Now, it's my opinion that even though a guy is capable of doing something, you don't take him out of his natural position at what he does best, right? So it's my thinking that if you want a guy to cover in the slot, you go draft a slot corner, or you go sign a slot corner. You don't get a linebacker who's capable of doing that and draft him just so he can do that. What do you think about that, man? I might be crazy, but maybe, I don't know.
I totally agree with you, man. First and foremost, Jock would not be able to cover Hunter Renfrow. All right. There's no way he's going to cover NFL wide receivers. Just because you play, at Notre Dame doesn't mean you're going to play against that same competition once you get to the NFL, right? He's not going to play slot in the NFL just because he showcased that he could do it in college. Isaiah Simmons did the same thing in college, right? It doesn't mean that's what you're going to do once you get to the NFL. Jock is not a slot corner.
Nah,
I agree with
I
you.
agree.
Go get a slot corner. Go get a true slot corner.
Yeah, absolutely. Go if that's what you want. It's just like the same thing with Joyner, same thing with Carl Joseph. Like, stop getting guys who are capable to do something and then making them do that. Go get the guys that actually just do that.
Exactly.
We got a super chat coming in from Kevin Lurker. For both of you, name the one player we pick at 17 that will make you throw objects, kick furniture, and scare the dog. Oh man, that's tough, man. Because you know why it's tough this year? Is because the Raiders need so much that it would have to be somebody that's really, really off the book crazy. Because if they went and got a Waddle at 17, I can't be mad at that. If they went and got Pitts at 17, I don't agree, but I don't know if I'd be mad at that. I think the guy that they could pick at 17 that would really just overcook my grits would have to be like if they went and reached for like Liam Eichenberg at 17. I think that would really, like, I would need a new TV. That would really piss me off, man. What you got?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, if we took a quarterback at 17, I'd be pissed off, right?
I'm on the record thinking there will be no quarterbacks available at 17.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like, who the hell are you taking at that point? Kyle Trask, right? So that would be
Kellen Mond. Could you imagine Kellen Mond?
If we took Richie Grant at 17, I'd be pissed off. If we took any defensive end, I would be angry because there's just no defensive end that's worth pick 17, in my opinion. Outside of that, I don't really and then of course, like Liam Eichenberg, I would take a guy like that with pick 17. If everyone's saying let's get a right tackle, the top 4 right tackles are gonna be gone. So who's right tackle number 5, right? Yeah. Jenkins, Slater, Sewell, and Darisaw. All those guys are gonna be gone. So who's next? Right, you can take Leatherwood at 17 or one of these other guys.
There's not a lineman that I would feel comfortable outside of any one of those guys going at 17.
Exactly.
What we got here? We got something coming in. I can't put it on the screen, but Sacktown Morgue, appreciate the donation. Which linebacker in this draft most resembles Wagner? Who is Gus's sleeper linebacker this year? I'll go first. I'm not going to do a player comp to Wagner. I'm just not good at doing those things because it's just hard for me to identify one player to another player. They all kind of bring something different to the table. But I will say a sleeper linebacker that I really like in this draft, there's two of them, but one's not a sleeper. One is Dylan Moses. I don't think he's a sleeper. I think everybody knows he's going to be good. But there's a linebacker out of Georgia named Monty Rice that I think nobody's really talking about. And I think he's a game changer. He's fast. He's a chase down linebacker. I think you could put him. He does a little better against the run than he does against the pass. But for me, that's somebody that he could be a sleeper. You get him in the 4th round, I would definitely look at that. Because to me, my draft order would have to be safety, tackle, corner, linebacker, or something like that. Like something in the top 4 picks, I think we take a linebacker. And if we waited till 80 and got somebody like a Dylan Moses or Monty Rice, I'd be perfectly fine with that if Jamin Davis isn't available. So you go ahead. I know that was kind of a loaded answer.
I definitely like that one. I would say if I had to give you 2, I would say Nick Bolton is a linebacker that I absolutely love. My second YouTube channel, people always ask me, who are the 3 guys that you have in there? One of them's Nick Bolton. He's the one that makes the first play.
Yeah.
Another guy I like is Ohio State linebacker Baron Browning. I think he's a good player. But when I was watching Baron Browning, I kept seeing this other linebacker, Pete Werner. I told myself that I think this guy might be a better fit if you wanted like a coverage linebacker, right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing, right? Is do teams still value those run-stopping linebackers the same way you value Jamin Davis or Micah Parsons or Jock or one of these coverage linebackers, right? Yeah, and I agree. I don't think so either. So I don't know if we, like Nick Kwiatkowski's a good enough run defender.
I love Nick, man. Honestly,
yeah, absolutely. He's a real good player, right? I think he's being, I made a film study of his, and I had these Chicago Bears fans reach out to me. They're like, "Man, you guys got yourselves a stud linebacker."
Yeah.
Before he actually started playing for us, so I like him a lot too.
Yeah. That's what's up. Sanjit, how do you compare Nazardine over Merrick? I think we already went into that, but Adora Raider, man, appreciate the donation. I don't know if you want to touch on that again or but I think you laid that out in the beginning pretty much what you like him, why you like him, and why you think he's your best safety.
Yeah, just go back, man, and you'll see that. We talked about it. I do like him a lot though. So I appreciate the super chat, of course.
Yeah, Julius Smith, appreciate the donation, man. Gentlemen, what if we trade back for more day 2 picks and take the DT from Alabama? He would be the most impactful player this year. I'm assuming you're talking Barmore, but Barmore's not going to be there on the second day. Unless you're just talking about, I don't think he might not be there past 20, honestly, in my opinion. So I don't think he's gonna be there. But just as a Raider fan, I'd be devastated if I waited this long for the draft and we didn't pick on the first night. I'd be devastated. Not just as a content creator, but as a person. I'd be hurt if I had to wait a whole other day for us to get a pick, man. Appreciate the donation, though. So I don't know if you want to answer them trading back for Barmore. He ain't gonna be there.
No, he's not gonna be there. I mean,
he's not gonna be there.
Let me be there at 17.
Let me get, I don't know. Let me see. What do you, we talked about free safety. What do you have on your rankings as far as cornerbacks? I believe cornerback is something we definitely have to address in this draft. What are 5 cornerbacks outside of Surtain and, JC Horn? Who are some of the guys that you can see, not the Raiders taking that in the first round, but maybe in the second round, man? What are some cornerbacks you like?
So there's one corner that I like a lot. So first and foremost, Patrick Surtain is my number 1 corner. I think most people would agree. He's a special player. But my number 2 corner, I don't think a lot of people would agree, or not necessarily agree, but I don't think a lot of people have their number 2 as what I have my number 2.
Okay,
it's Tyson Campbell from Georgia. If we take him with the 17th pick, I'm perfectly fine with that. I think he's gonna be a great player. You watch him against Alabama, and you watch what he does when he covers Devontae Smith. He shuts him down, man. And I think he's gonna be a special player. He's actually one of my sleepers because I know a lot of people don't have him in the first round.
He's a stud, though. He's a stud, absolutely. I just think that, well, when you talk about Tyson Campbell, he's actually my 5th best corner in my top 15. I do think that outside of injuries, I put Caleb Farley ahead of him, and I also think I like Greg Newsome just a little bit more. Like when you get outside the top 2, which is Surtain and Horn for me, the next 3 or 4 guys are really just preference, right? It's really what you like. If you like the size of a corner, if you like drop back, aggression, tackling, making plays on the football, there's so many different ways you can slice it. Tyson Campbell is in my top 5, but I don't know if I'd be happy with getting a top 5 guy at 17. I think at 17, he has to be the best guy at his position or second best, in my opinion.
He's the second best for me, man.
I can't argue that. If he's the second best for you, then I can't argue because in my knowledge, the way I'm doing things is based on what I think. I don't know what Gruden or Mayock thinks. Dick Vitale with another super chat. The Raiders have horrible at intermediate coverage for years. If we keep letting the quarterbacks throw to their first read, D-line won't matter. What do you guys think? Well, I'll tell you this. What allows the quarterback to throw to his first read is obviously pressure. So, I mean, I don't know if you're implying we need to get better in the secondary because you're thinking if our secondary is not good, our D-line won't matter. I actually think it's the other way around. A good secondary is really only as good as their front 7. If you have a front 7 that can't apply pressure and can't tackle, your secondary is going to look trash. It just is what it is because now they can't think about just covering. They have to also think about saving the linebackers' ass who can't tackle, and now they're coming up too early. They're biting on more play action. So I just believe if we shore up that front 7, I think that makes our secondary already better.
I couldn't agree with you more, man. I could not agree with you more. We need one guy, man, that can get pressure. You get a defensive tackle that can pass rush. It just makes everything easier for everybody.
Give me 5 defensive tackles out if you can. Give me 5 defensive tackles that aren't Barmore that you see will make a difference on our team. If you want me to go first, I will. But let me know. I want to know what you think on that.
So my number outside of Christian Barmore, a sleeper that I have is Jalen Twyman from Pitt. I know people have kind of talked about him. Some people have, some people haven't. I would, based off his pass rushing skills alone, if you just consider the potential, I would consider him. I would consider trading up maybe later on in the first round, right? Assuming we take someone with the 17th pick, or even just trading back and possibly getting him. Obviously, it sucks that you have to go back to 2019 to watch his tape. He has great hands. That's one defensive tackle that I really, really like. What's the guy from Washington? Levy or Levi?
Levi.
I don't know how to say his last name. I think he'll be a pretty good player as well. He's a good pass rusher. Peyton Turner has been getting a lot of hype from Houston. Who else is out there? I'm not huge on Davian Nixon.
Yeah, I liked him in the beginning, but more tape I started watching, I realized that from the first few games, he kind of declined so much. But there is a guy that I want to get your opinion on, and I think he would fit perfect in Gus Bradley's system, and that's LSU's Tyler Shelvin. I know you're making that face. He got some damn weight issues. I understand that.
He's way too big, man.
I know, but think about when you're talking about playing the 4-3 with 3-4 principles, your front four, they're usually all 300 plus, man. All 300 plus. And I just think you get a guy like that at 6'3, 346 and just plug up the middle. I know production might be an issue, but he's a body that if we got him later, if somehow he fell and we got him really late, that's a guy that I would not be mad with having on our team. That's a big boy, man.
And I agree with you. He's a big dude. He's like 350 plus.
Yeah,
maybe. I don't even know exactly.
He's fucking huge.
Here's the thing, right? We play a 4-3-D, of course. You know, we all know that. But we do one thing that is a little bit different with that 4-3-D that most 4-3 defensive schemes don't do, and that is we ask our one tech to two gap, right?
Yeah.
4-3 defensive alignment for the most part, it's all just one gap, and that's kind of how your run fits are. And Tyler Shelvin might be a great two gap guy because he is big. You know, you're right. We need 300+ pound defensive linemen for our defense, and I think that's why we got Quentin Jefferson, right? And Quentin Jefferson, I think, is a pretty good player. Jonathan Hankins, I think, is a pretty good player as well.
Yes.
Yeah, man. The defensive tackles, I think, is such a hard position.
Yeah.
How many? And I'm going to ask you this: how many good run defending defensive tackles are there in the NFL? And then you compare that to how many good pass rushing tackles.
Yeah.
And like, you know, Jonathan Hankins is considered a top 5 run defensive tackle.
I like him a lot.
I do too, but he doesn't bring anything when it comes to pass rush, right? And that's the thing is like, how many, like, are we going to get Shelvin to not rush the passer and get stalled right away?
I agree. You know what it is for me as a talent evaluator? I oftentimes look at the tools a player has and think that if the coaching is good, I know if you want to be a 3 tech, 1 tech, 0 tech, whatever the case be, whatever tech you want to be, I think that if you have certain tools, a coach can coach you to do certain things. And I take pride in that because I'm a coach. You might have a guy that was a linebacker and I'll make him a defensive back because if he can backpedal and open his hips, he don't need to do nothing else. I can make him a defensive back. So that's why when it comes to me evaluating talent, and it's good to have somebody like you on because you kind of you know the numbers, you know the actual difference between a 1 tech, 3 tech, right? Sometimes with me, I'm looking at, that motherfucker look like he can play. We got to coach him to play what we need him to play. So I like that you bring that yin and the yang to the conversation. And obviously other people do because I have a super chat that just came in. Damn, I lost it. I don't know where it went. But it was just saying we definitely need more content like this. You two as a duo is really great. Here goes one right here that says this is great content. Hopefully we get more duo videos, man. And absolutely, man. Anytime anybody's available to talk Raiders and talk that smart Raiders talk, I'm with it. Sometimes we are fans, but we have to be able to have a difference between being a fan and an analysis. And sometimes you have to give analysis being objective. You can't say because I love the Raiders, I can't keep it real on this guy. You know what I mean? And I think that Sanjit is definitely one of those folks that does it right. Jack Ken, appreciate the donation. Jenkins, Merrick, or Jock in round 1. If all 3 are available, if so, what do you fellas take in round 2? Real quick, if all 3 of those guys are available, I'm probably going to take Merrick over Jock. And in round 2, I'm going to go tackle. And I'm not against round 2 trading up for a tackle, right? I'm not against that because somebody like Tevin Jenkins might, I don't know. In my opinion, Jenkins might go 36, 37. And if we're sitting at 48, I wouldn't mind if we trade 48, 79 and go up and get that guy because he's head and shoulders better than who might be at 48. We go and get that guy. So if we go safety tackle, I'm totally fine with that.
I agree with you, man. I take Merrick first easily Those are the
That's
three
what's up.
guys I would take.
That's what's up.
No,
Mike,
I do disagree. Jenkins is not going to be available in the.
You had to throw that shit in there, huh? Disagree. All right, that's cool. Mike Nyes, appreciate the donation, man. Love both your channels. Appreciate what you do for the nation. I think you said that earlier. I don't know, but it's still there. So I'm going to say it again because it's a fact. We appreciate that you appreciate what we do. Mike Nizer said, well said, Honcho. That's why it frustrates me that people rag on Abram. He was a victim of the front seven. It made him try to do too much. And I totally agree because I played in the secondary. And at times, if we weren't making tackles, because the worst thing as a safety is you want to be one-on-one with a guy who's faster than you and knows where he's going. You don't know where he's going. You're at the mercy of him. You don't want to be one-on-one with a guy who's faster than you, bigger than you, and knows where he's going, and you got to make an open field tackle with 50 yards between you and 20 yards between you and the end zone. So what you're going to do is that if your front seven's not tackling, you're going to fly up because you're going to want to make a tackle in the mix. You're going to want to kind of get in there when people are around. So if you do miss the tackle, you got other people to help you. Defensive backs should not be the best tacklers on the team. So to expect them to make great open field tackles is just hard. And I feel like Abram was a victim of our front seven. And I think our front seven was a victim of our DC. So you can take that how you want. Sanjit.
Oh, no, I totally agree. Okay. You hit it 100%, man. There's nothing more to add to that. It's 100%.
All right, we got Dick Vitale coming in. Okay, you're going to make pay to talk. So you're saying if the quarterback throws the ball in 2 seconds, somehow a super D line gets there, no chance. No, I don't think I was saying that when I said that making your first read isn't always a super fast read. Your first read could just be the guy that the play is designed to go to. I mean, if you got a guy running a post and a guy running an out, your first read might be the post. Like, it doesn't always have to be a quick release. Now, in a quick release, I mean, the DBs, yes, if you're in press coverage, you're going to have to be able to get a jam on a guy and do what you got to do. But with that being said, in Gus's system, the DBs don't really press that much. They're bumping bail. So at the snap of the ball, they're going to be 10 yards off the line of scrimmage from what I've seen in the past. So if you're relying on your DBs to shut down that first read and they're playing press bail in cover 3, look, you're going to have linebackers there and a D line that can get their hands up, period.
Yeah, and I just want to add to that, right? Just because a quarterback throws the ball 35 times a game, that doesn't mean the defensive tackles have 35 opportunities to get a sack.
That's a fact. Good point.
That's not the case. If a quarterback's going to take 2 steps or 3 steps and throw the ball, the offensive line are not setting back in a vertical kick step, right? And they're not going to get back into pass protection. They're going to jump set it, and they're going to make it look like a run block.
Absolutely.
Because it's a quick throw, right? You want the linebackers to step up. Maybe you want to quickly throw it behind them. But yeah, defensive tackles don't have 35 times to pass rush.
No.
Chances are they get like 12 opportunities in the game.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Absolutely. I agree. Let me see. We got one coming. How much more time you got, man? I know you got work tonight.
I got at least 30 to 40 minutes. We're good.
All right, cool. I can't even read this name. I don't know, man. Capped Raider Close. I don't know, man. 26. Appreciate the donation, man. What is your thought on Aleem McNeil, defensive tackle, Damar Hamlin, safety, and Ramondre Stevenson as replacement for Jalen Richard? I will say Aleem McNeil is my second best defensive tackle. Well, my second ranked defensive tackle in this draft. Damar Hamlin, I'm not so. Is that the guy? That's the guy from Pitt, right? I think Damar Hamlin's from Pitt, I believe. I'm not really super high on him. Like I said, out of my top 15 safeties, Damar, I'm not even. I mean, I like Divine Diablo more. I like Jamie and Sherwood more. I like Gillespie more. Caden Stearns from Texas is a guy that's not getting a lot of hype, but I like him. I'm not too high on Damar Hamlin. And Ramondre Stevenson is definitely somebody I would look at taking in the later rounds as that big bruiser back. But the thing about him is I don't know if you could use a draft pick on somebody who's so limited. And if it's 4th and 1, I want Jacobs with the ball, man. If it's 4th and goal from the 2, I want Jacobs with the ball. So I don't know if I use a pick on Ramondre. Go ahead, Sanjit. What you think about that?
Yeah, so the North Carolina defense tackle, Aleem McNeil, is the only one that I've actually watched out of that group. Yeah, just to be honest, I don't want to just put things out there when I don't know what I'm talking about, right? That's
great, man.
And I like him. He plays bigger than he's a pretty big guy already, right? I don't know where he's going to end up going again. I do think you said he's your number 2 defensive tackle.
He's my number 2.
Who's number 1? I'm going to assume is Barmore.
Yeah, Barmar's 1. I actually got Milton Williams as like in my top 5 defensive tackles from Louisiana Tech.
Okay.
So just a random name to throw in there to mess you up.
I like him, man. I definitely like him. If the Raiders were to take him, if we were able to get him in the 3rd round, that's probably the earliest I would take him.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if his pass rushing is there yet.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have any so give me 2 or 3 guys that you would take at 17 if they're not Barmore or Merrick? Give me just 2 or 3 guys you would take at 17 if it's not Barmore or Merrick. And let's say everybody else is available. Let's say Pitts falls. Let's say Parsons is there. Whoever you want. If it's not Barmore or Merrick, who are you taking at 17?
I'll give you a couple guys. First and foremost is Parsons, right? I'm very high on Parsons. I think he's an all-pro player. Okay. Parsons, he's great, man. If anybody is watching and has not watched Parsons, go watch Parsons, man. The guy's he just plays better than everybody.
He's a stud, man.
A couple of players that people might not necessarily think that we could get at 17. One is Jalen Waddle, right? Don't be surprised if Waddle's there, the Raiders might make that move.
That would hurt.
I know most people are saying, oh, the top 3 wide receivers will be gone in the top 13 or whatever.
Yeah.
Last year's class was better. Ruggs went at 12. He was the first wide receiver taken. Judy got picked at 15 and then Lamb at 17.
Yep.
Receivers are not that they're just not valued that high, right? That's a fact. Wide receivers are replaceable. There's like 25 really good wide receivers in the NFL right now. All right. If Waddle's there at 17, I would pull the trigger on Waddle. I think you can never have too many good offensive players, especially guys like Waddle's talent for the next 5 years on a cheap contract, right? John Brown, I think we signed him to a 1-year deal, right?
Yep.
I'm not sure on that. If John, just like Nelson Aguilar last year, Nelson Aguilar balled out, but we weren't going to ever have him back, right? Yeah. If Jalen Waddle balls out, we have him for the next 4 years after that, right? He's on a rookie contract. I obviously already said this earlier. Hamza Natterline, if he's there at 17, I'm taking him, man. And he will be at 17 and he probably won't take
He's going to be there, though. That's why I don't like you saying it. I don't like you saying it because he's going to be there. I don't want him to be there.
We're not going to take him. He will be there, and we're not going to take him. But I would
He'll be there. He'll be there at 48, though. I think he'll be there at 48.
I don't know. We'll see. Maybe
we'll put a bet on that. I think he'll be there at 48. The quick thing about Waddle is I'm actually bigger on Devontae Smith than I am Waddle, and it's only because Smith runs better routes, and I always feel like the guys who run good routes last longer in the NFL and have way more production in the NFL, and that's why I wanted Lamb over Ruggs. I mean, Ruggs is fast, he's explosive, but he's just not as complete and put together the way Lamb was. So I mean, but if Waddle's there, I know John Gruden, like somebody's going to have to tase him because he's going to try to draft a wide receiver. And I don't think that makes our team better. I don't think drafting a receiver there makes our team better.
Not that much better. And I agree with you. Devontae Smith is definitely better. I guess in my mind, I kind of
he's already gone.
He'll be gone. There's no way.
Okay. All right, so we're eye to eye on that. I do got a super chat coming in from Marcus. Appreciate you. Why does Gus Bradley's defense start strong and then every year after they slip hard? Was he following Pagano's act in San Diego? We give him a lot of credit following Gunther. I will say I think injuries play a lot with Gus Bradley in the recent past. I think he's been dealt some tough injuries. I mean, you talk about when he was with the Chargers. I mean, Derwin James never was available, and I think that's the lead. That was the leader at that point on his defense. And when you don't got your alpha in there, it changes a lot. Even though Jonathan Abram isn't all pro, when we were missing Jonathan Abram, it hurt our defense, right? So imagine somebody like Derwin James not being available and what that's going to do to your defense. But you can go ahead, man.
No, I totally agree with you, man. Injuries, killed the Chargers. Yeah. At the end of the day, Gus Bradley could be an average defensive coordinator. Is that better than Paul Gunther? Like probably by 5 times, right? He's just better.
Yeah. Absolutely. Steven Trillo, appreciate the donation. Hey, y'all, thanks for the content. We want safety, but Gruden going right tackle in the first and safety in the second, similar to the fans wanting Derwin James over Colton Miller. That's a good point, but I will tell you, I believe Gruden's going to do the right thing this year. I think he respects Gus, and I think he saw how many games we lost because, of our defense last year. And I think he would be a fool to not make defense a priority in the first round. Even if it's not Merrick, I think it has to be a defensive player. I think it has to be a defensive player. I always said you can have a great offensive line without every individual player being great. Right? It's just how they move as a unit, the continuity with the unit. Absolutely. You're not going to have a great secondary if your safety is ass. It just doesn't work like that. So or if your linebacker is ass, like in order for you to have a sound defense and a sound unit, whether it's the linebacker or secondary, you kind of need that standout guy for your line to be good. Your D tackle or your defensive end has to be a stud. For your linebacking core to be good, you got to have studs. Like, as far as offensive line, I think you can get a guy in the second, third, fourth round, like most of our linemen anyway. Outside of Colton Miller, we don't really have a high draft pick lineman. I think we can find a good guy later on in the draft. That's my opinion.
I agree with you, man. I don't think it's necessarily take an offense tackle in the first. Yeah, that's why I would not take Jenkins over Merrick. I think Jenkins is going to be a great player, but I wouldn't take him if he's there because you can get a second round, third round guy.
Like, is Jenkins a whole head and shoulders better than who you can get at 48? I don't know. I don't know. Dick Vitale, he must really have a good point, man, because he ain't stopping. I'm saying we have to get better at linebacker and slot. I'm not talking about all the times the quarterback ate a sandwich before they threw the ball. Okay, look, Dick Vitale. Okay, I agree with you. I'm agreeing with you. I do think we need to get better at linebacker and slot, and I've already said that in the first 4 picks in this draft, one has to be a corner and one has to be a linebacker. So we're on the same page. I think we're just saying it differently, but we both agree. Sacktown Morgue, mark it now. Rondell Moore will be better than Waddle or Smith. Moore at 17 would improve our offense because he's complete, unlike Ruggs was raw. Now, Sacktown, my only question to you is does making our offense better necessarily mean it makes our team better? I know it sounds crazy, but improving our offense doesn't take us further than we were last year, especially if it's not going to improve the run game necessarily, because keeping the ball would improve us on defense, right? If we stay on offense longer, obviously. But adding another high caliber big play receiver, I don't know if that necessarily makes us better, because I think Edwards can be prime time. I think Ruggs is going to be prime time. John Brown is prime time. I don't think adding another speedy tool really changes what our outlook is. I think changing that defense does. Yeah, that's just my opinion on that.
Absolutely. We need to focus on that defense, man.
Yeah.
Offense doesn't do much for us, right?
Yeah. So let me ask you this, man. I know people are gonna kill me if I don't ask you, man. Address the elephant in the room. Everybody knows. Let me hand me that. Let me get my executive producer to hand me something real quick. I just have to ask you this question because I got you on here and I know you're gonna be leaving soon. Just hand me this real quick. It's just only right. You know what I'm saying? That we get in. I gotta ask this, man. It's only right that I get into it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, everybody knows that I'm a Derek Carr supporter. And it's come to my attention that you're a Derek Carr critic. So it's only right that I ask you, man, what is your issues with Derek Carr, man? I haven't heard any. So this is my first time addressing this with you. So we'll get back to draft talk. But I just want to know, man, what are the issues you do have with Derek Carr?
All right. So first and foremost, let me clarify, right? Because I get these comments all the time. I don't hate Derek Carr, man. I know people think I hate Derek Carr, but
I put the jersey on for nothing then.
No. We'll talk about it, right? We'll talk about it because I do have issues with him. I don't think he's the greatest quarterback out there right now, right? He's not a bad quarterback, right? He can definitely get us to win. He is arguably a top 10 quarterback, right? At the very minimum, he's a top 13 quarterback for sure, right? Hands down. And I don't hate Derek, bro. Like, I don't know why people think for some reason I hate Derek Carr. I don't hate him. I think Derek Carr has done a lot of good things, right? But at the same time, you have to be honest, right? And Derek Carr is great against our divisional teams, right? You play the Chiefs, the Broncos, the Chargers. He's great. He'll throw for 300 yards every single game. Mm-hmm. But the issues I have is when we play the Patriots, right? Our defense forced the Patriots to have 4 straight 3-and-outs. Or I'm sorry, 4 straight 3-and-outs. And at no point did we score a touchdown when we stopped the Patriots 4 straight times. Yeah. At a certain point, it was a tie ball game. I think it was like 21-21 or something like that. Mm-hmm. Derek Carr throws an interception. The Patriots score. On the next drive, Derek Carr fumbled the ball, or someone fumbled. I don't know if it was maybe Waller or someone.
It was Josh Jacobs fumbled on like the 15-yard line.
Someone fumbled. They score a touchdown. So now we're down by 2 possessions, right? And then Derek Carr fumbles the ball in the end zone, and they pick it up for a touchdown. And that's the same theme that I've seen against non-divisional opponents, right? Teams that he's playing for the first time. We're in the game, and then out of nowhere, we're way out of the game. And I'm not saying that you 100% blame Derek Carr for that, right? Because I do understand that our team does have some limitations, right? Especially on the offense side of the ball. We're really not that good. But the thing is when you take away Darren Waller, is Derek Carr comfortable enough to hit our other wide receivers? And then at the same time, I always say this, right? Derek Carr is not a good deep pass thrower. And I'm not talking about 23 yards downfield, right? That's not a deep pass. 23 yards, Derek Carr is probably the most accurate quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like 50-yard throws, right? 40 to 50 yards, right?
50 yards in the air or once it's completed?
In the air. And
okay.
If
God damn, bro, that's a bomb.
I mean, if he steps back 7 yards, you'd want him to be able to throw it 50 yards from where he's at, right?
Yeah.
I don't see those throws from him, right? At the end of the day, I want Carr to succeed. I don't want him to not succeed. But you have to be 100% honest. Derek Carr is not Patrick Mahomes, right? Yeah. He is not that. And most quarterbacks aren't, right? So I'm not saying he's just that. But Derek Carr isn't Russell Wilson. He's not Aaron Rodgers. He's not what Tom Brady was in his prime, even though he just won a Super Bowl again, right?
Yeah.
I would even say that Justin Herbert looked better last year. And if Justin Herbert does what he did last year in this next year, Herbert will be a better quarterback than Derek Carr. And people might disagree with me.
Disrespectful, man. You disrespectful, Sanjit. You disrespectful.
I'm being honest. Justin Herbert threw for 4,300 yards in 14 games last year. 4,300 freaking yards.
They losing every game. He got to throw the ball.
And that is true. And I agree with you. I don't disagree with you. But that's why I think statistics are overrated. And people use Derek Carr's statistics. Oh, he had his best year ever, 4,100 yards. He threw for 4,000 yards in each of the last 3 years, right? Or maybe he did it in 2018, or maybe he did. Stats don't matter. It's about your wins, right? What do you do when the score's 19-22? What are you doing as a player? Are you actually getting downfield? There's times where like we're well blown out of the game, and then Derek Carr goes downfield, drives, scores a touchdown, and it makes our offense look better. Right. Yeah. And again, I'm not hating on Derek Carr. I'm just being honest. That's what I see when I watch the film.
I don't necessarily disagree with your points. I think my question would just be, have the Raiders put Derek Carr in the best positions to succeed? I mean, when you talk about stats don't matter, I would have to assume I would disagree in the sense that like the stat that matters to me is that the fact that he's won so many games for us coming from behind. And I just think that when you talk about the Patriots game, he's had bad games. I mean, he's looked stale. He's looked stagnant at times where you think the offense should move. But I also feel like he's kind of a victim of John Gruden at times in the sense of like he doesn't look. Football is about momentum. You know that, and I know that. John Gruden sometimes takes the momentum from us, and then it's like it's kind of hard to jumpstart it. And that's just my opinion. I mean, Derek Carr's room for error, his margin for error is so much smaller than everybody else's because he doesn't have anybody else on his team that can kind of on defense that'll get the ball back for you, that'll cause that turnover for you. I mean, I totally agree with the situation of like the results should matter, but I mean, there's not many quarterbacks, in my opinion, that would have won us 8 games last year with the way that defense played, and arguably. Yeah, you could say we could have won 11 games, and we could have lost the Jets game, right? But I think that when it's winning time, not when it's even, right? That's something I can't argue with. I can't argue when it's even. But when it's winning time, when the ball's in Derek Carr's hands and there's 40, 50, a minute left in the game, I'm totally confident that he's going to get it done. And when you ask, hold on, man. Go ahead. When you ask, will he feel comfortable throwing it to somebody other than Darren Waller? Well, he was comfortable throwing to Jordy Nelson. He was comfortable throwing to Crabtree. He was comfortable throwing to Aguilar when nobody was comfortable throwing to Aguilar. So it's just, I mean, he made Jared Cook look damn near as good as Darren Waller. So in my opinion, I think Carr needs to improve on some things. But I think if you put Derek Carr on the Chiefs, I don't think they fall off that much. If you put Derek Carr on that Tampa Bay team last year, I don't think it looks that different. So it's hard for me to say where Derek Carr could be better at, because we're not better at anywhere else for him. You know what I mean? So that's my only thing. But I'm glad you said you're not a hater. I don't know why people call you a hater. I don't think it's a hater, man. If what you're saying has validity to it and you can back it up. I mean, we've all seen the Raiders play and we've all seen Derek Carr struggle. I just think his struggles are highlighted way more than his successes when you think about he succeeded with bare minimum tools to succeed, in my opinion. I
agree with you. I do think it is unfair in that aspect that he's never had a top 8 defense, right? Jared Goff had the number 1 defense or the number 2 defense last year, and he made the playoffs. And you have these people telling me that, oh, the Rams are this great team, or Sean McVay's this great offensive mind. The Rams offense was the 23rd ranked offense last year. The only reason they won was because they had the second best defense.
Yeah.
And I agree, right? Like John Gruden and Derek Carr have the offense going, and with the horrible defense, that is holding us back. Yeah. But I will also like to throw this out there. I don't know what the issue is. I mean, I have my opinion on what the issue is, but the Raiders started with 3 and outs every single game the last 8 weeks. Yeah. Right. That's an issue. Why is it that we're going 3 and out to start the game off? Right. You talked about the tempo and how it can kill. Yeah, whatever the team's feeling. Yeah, a 3 and out kills it for a team as well, right? And we started off 3 and out every single week the last 8 weeks of the season.
I agree.
And I'll say this: if Derek Carr has, let me actually make a different point. Unless you want to say something.
Well, no, I just think the 3 and outs is. I mean, sometimes it's so predictable what the Raiders are getting ready to run that it's like. As a defensive coach, I'm just saying, as a defensive coach, if I watch the Raiders on film week after week after week, and they go run, they're gonna go short pass, run, short pass. Well, I mean, all I have to do is get them the second down, and I've won. As long as I get them the second and long, I've won because we already know what they're gonna do on second and long. Then we know what they're gonna do on third and short. We know everybody says third and Renfro. I just think that better play calling. I think it's 50-50. I think better play calling helps the 3 and outs. I just think that's the coaching side of it. And I think
Let me ask you a question. If it's let's say it's 1st and 10, we run the ball, we get 4 yards, it's 2nd and 6. Let's say John Gruden has a play action called, he has 2 guys going deep, and then he has his check down. Is it his responsibility to throw it deep, or is that Derek Carr's responsibility to throw it deep?
I think in that situation, it would be Carr's responsibility to throw it deep if it's there. But what I'm saying, and that's valid. But my thing is that maybe you don't call a play action that only has 3 routes. That's what I'm saying. It's like you got all these weapons at the disposal, right? There's 2 points I want to make. You have all these weapons at your disposal, and you're running JV offense. And the 3 guys you're sending on a route, one of them might be Jason Witten, right? And one of them is Ruggs that we know hasn't run good routes. Ruggs doesn't run good routes. So now you're expecting a quarterback whose job is on the line seemingly every game. He knows the defense can't make no plays. He's trying to do too much, just like Abram does on defense. And he has to make the decision, do I give that guy a chance? Do I give number 11 a chance when the last time I threw it to him, it tipped off his fingers for an interception, or he's not going to get enough separation? Or do I just, throw it away and we'll try to get it on 3rd down? I think coaching is more than just calling the play. It's you see the guys in practice. You know what plays aren't going to work. Stop putting Derek Carr in the position to have to be better than he is, period. That's all I'm saying. If you know he's only a top 10 quarterback, stop giving him the scheme as if he's a top 3 quarterback. That's what I'm saying. That's all.
Well, I want to make 2 points. First, I want to say this, right? I do like Derek a lot. I think if we're going to win a Super Bowl, we have to have a better defense, right? But at the same time, in 2018, Derek did not have a great offensive line, right?
No.
He got sacked, 50-something times?
It was a lot. It was a lot.
It was a lot. And that was the year we're like, well, we need a better offensive line. How are you going to win if Derek doesn't have a good offensive line protecting him? And then we went out and spent all this money on the offensive line. We didn't have money to spend at that point on the defense, right? And now we're saying, well, we spent too much money on the offensive line. We need to put the money in on the defense. If we do that and Carr gets sacked, let's just say 1.3 more times than he did last season. Yeah. Is Carr going to not be able to get it done? Are we not going to have the 10th or 11th best offense? Are we going to go down to like 18th? So what happens there, right? And obviously we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
right?
well, I think with the line being poor, you're gonna have a lot more passes to Kenyon Drake and Jacobs coming out the backfield.
So I'm glad you said that, right? So this was my second point. Derek Carr checks the ball down, in my opinion, way too many times. And here's the thing, right? John Gruden draws the offense up where there will always be a check down, but you don't have to take that check down, right? There's gonna be options for you to throw it to somebody, but there will be a check down. I went back and I counted how many times Marcus Mariota, when he came in, how many times he checked it down. And why is it that he only checked the ball down 3 or 4 times in that whole entire game? But then when you look at Derek Carr, he's checking it down 9, 10, 11, 12 times a game.
Yeah.
Why is it that Marcus checked it down less than Derek? And that's the issue I have with Derek, right? Because sometimes we see Derek throw a 3-yard pass, right? Or he throws it to maybe it's like Witten for a gain of 1 yard, right? But that's a check down, right? And that should be the very last thing he should do. He should first try to get one of those receivers the ball, right? And that's one of the issues I have with Derek is I think he checks it down to his final read too often. He doesn't take those risks.
I can't be mad at that.
At the same time, I know Gruden doesn't want him to take risks, but there's a small part of Gruden that wants him to make that deep pass, or that 35-yard throw between the safety and the corner.
And he did that. I think he did it. I think the answer to the question about the Mariota check down thing is that, first of all, Mariota probably don't know enough of the damn offense to know there is a check down. That's one. Number two is he was running completely different plays to where it was like it was set up for his skill set. And that's my issue with the coaching is what I'm saying is Mariota's plays that he was running against the Chargers were set up to his skill set. Derek Carr is running plays that isn't set up to his skill set, like rolling right and only having Jason Witten or having somebody coming across. And it's like, well, if he doesn't feel comfortable making that read or that throw, what's his next option? Because the play is breaking down, but he shouldn't be in that position where the play breaking down. And if it doesn't best suit his actual abilities, like if you're not a quarterback that can run, if you're not good at 3-step slants, well, then there shouldn't be routes that are 3-step slants. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just think that they should put Derek Carr in more successful plays. And I know you believe that Derek Carr should be good enough. It's not John Gruden's job to make Carr better on the field and have him make those plays. But if you know your quarterback isn't Deshaun Watson and you know your quarterback isn't Patrick Mahomes, and you got to put the offense around him that he excels in. And I point that out because he didn't have Marcus Mariota running the plays Derek Carr runs because he know Marcus Mariota can't make the reads that Derek Carr can make. It was way more simplified. It was if your first option is not there, run it. And I feel like that fits Marcus Mariota.
So here's another thing. Here's another thing I want to point out. If you watch that game, right, you go back and watch that Chargers game, Marcus Mariota, I think, audibled one time, right? Outside of that one audible, he ran the play that was called. And that's probably just because he doesn't know all the calls that Derek would know, right? You watch Derek Carr, he's making an audible every single, and it's not an audible, right? There's 2 plays that are called. He's just making whichever one of the 2 plays he thinks is going to work, right? That's what he's doing when he gets up there. Marcus didn't get to do that. So John Gruden was calling that game, and Marcus was executing the plays that John Gruden wanted him to execute.
Also against a defense that wasn't prepared to face him. And
that's the thing. That's 100% fact, and I will not argue that at all. The defense was not ready for Marcus, right? They thought Derek was going to be the quarterback. And at the end of the day, we still lost, so it doesn't really matter, right?
And we lost because that quarterback threw an interception with 1:20 left on the defensive 20-yard line. But anyway,
I disagree.
I digress.
All right, let's move forward, man.
No. I want to ask you this one question though. While we're still on the Carr topic, do you think who has a better chance of winning a Super Bowl? Derek Carr with a different coach or John Gruden with a different quarterback?
I would think that the person that would have the better chance would be Derek Carr with a different coach. But the reason why I say that is because of the fact that Derek Carr could go to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, like you mentioned just a little while ago. And that team's great, and Derek would be the perfect guy. If John Gruden went somewhere else, he'd have to go build his team from scratch, right?
But let's go somewhere else.
Let's just say we kept the same team and we traded away Derek versus we traded away Gruden. I think we'd be better with Derek than Gruden.
Yes. Okay. Then we're good. Let's end it on something we agree with. But no, I don't think I disagree with anything you said. I just think it's different perspectives what we're looking at, right?
Yeah.
We do got a super chat coming in from Kojit. I hope I said that name right. Year two best Raider fact spitters. That's what's up, man. Appreciate the donation. Thank you.
So if you don't know, that's my brother. That's my older brother.
Oh, that's what's up, man. Oh, keep it in the family. I like that, man. Thank you for the donation, man. And I'm glad you think we spit facts, because if you ain't gonna spit facts, then what's the point of talking, man? You might as well, it has to be real. We argue out of reason, never out of passion, ever. So yeah, let's get back into some draft stuff. Let me actually, who's gonna have a better year in your opinion? Henry Ruggs or John Brown?
I'm gonna say Henry Ruggs. I think Ruggs has the better year. I think, just because Nelson Aguilar had a good year last year, came to the team, that doesn't mean that's exactly what John Brown's gonna do. Right. I think a lot of people think that John Brown's going to come in and do exactly what Aguilar did. Right. That's probably not going to happen. Ruggs is going into his second year. A lot of people have made or a lot of people have said that Ruggs was hurt and that kind of impacted him last year. I would hope it's Ruggs. And if Ruggs does not have a good year, I'm going to be upset, man, because we could have had CeeDee Lamb right there.
Oh, I don't even want to. I'm going to leave that alone because everybody knows how I feel about CeeDee Lamb. Dick Vitale, appreciate the donation. I hope for Derek Carr's sake he gets traded, so all you guys that keep saying garbage about him get to see our team on the QB hunt again. Good luck. You know what? I don't think anybody really wants to see Derek Carr go. I think a lot of people are just challenging him to be the best version of himself. And I think he's going to do that. I think he's been improving every year. I think Derek Carr would look better if he had a defense that can get off the field, because then we don't have to talk about stats, but Derek Carr would have way more pass attempts. He would have way more yards and way more touchdowns if he had way more possessions. The defense got to get off the field. That's all I'll say about that.
And here's another thing, right? Derek Carr, it's unfortunate, but he's going to be on the hot seat every year, right? No matter what, until he gets us to the playoffs. Until we win a playoff game, it's just what it is. It's going to be that way because he is going into his 8th year.
I agree.
But at the same time, if Derek Carr is given a top 10 defense and he struggles, people are going to say get rid of him, right? And
he's not going to. He's not going to struggle, because I think even the struggles he's had this year, a top 10 defense would have made up for it.
No, absolutely, exactly, and that's the thing, right? We'll win more games with a top 10 defense.
Okay. We agree. All right, so I know you only got a few minutes left, man. So let me try to get you a good question. What is a sleeper offensive player that the Raiders could target in this draft, either late or early? I know a lot of people just want strictly defense, but what's an offensive sleeper that the Raiders could grab that will not surprise you, but will help us out on offense?
So I'm gonna stick with offensive line, right? I don't want to talk about the receivers and running backs. Yeah. So there's a couple of really good offensive linemen. First and foremost, we don't have to take an offensive tackle in the first, right? There's plenty of options with pick 48, 79, and 80, right? We can get some of these guys. One guy that I really, really love, and I think this is 100% a scheme fit, it's Samuel Cosmi from Texas.
Ooh, I
mentioned him a couple times. I don't know if you've ever seen this film, but the dude's a great run blocker. He's my number one rated run blocker this draft season. Another left tackle, actually just watched this film for the first time today, is Florida's Stone Forsty, and I think that's how you say his name. He's 6'8". The one issue is he is a redshirt senior, so he is like 23-20, right? He's older for coming out of college. But he could be there with pick 79 or 80. And he'd be I think a real good player to be a right tackle for the Raiders. The one thing is I don't know if he's a scheme fit. And I almost feel like Tom Cable would rather have a guy that can fit the scheme than a guy that can't. And I believe 1,000% the reason why Trent Brown, Gabe Jackson, and Rodney Hudson are no longer here is because there weren't the scheme fit guys for Tom Cable. Hudson was, but Hudson was slowing down, right? So that's going to impact how he's able to move right or left and how he's able to climb to the next level. Trent Brown was just slow, right? And he wasn't good as far as like a scheme perspective. Same with Gabe Jackson, who's getting older, and these are power guys. They're not zone blocking guys. Cosme is a great person in my opinion. Brandon Hymus from Nebraska could be another tackle. We can take him with 48 or possibly on the third round. Two interior guys. I'm gonna ask you this real quick. Who's your best offensive lineman? Number one offensive lineman in the draft round. Who is it?
That's tough, man. That's tough. You know why? Because I like what's his name? Penny Sewell. Is that how you pronounce it? But I just don't think he's not the best at anything, right? It's so weird because he's like he's really good, and like you think he's the best guy in the draft, but he's not the best at any actual run blocking or pass blocking. I like Slater. I like Slater. I just think Slater's too small to be a tackle. For some reason, he's barely bigger than Incognito, right? But I just think his skill set for me, it would have to be between Slater. I really like Darisaw, man. I really like that because I think you mentioned it before, and I totally agree. He's the most pro ready. You might have said that, I don't know. But I think it's either Darisaw or Slater for me.
So for me, the number one offensive lineman, it's not any of those guys. For me, the number one offensive lineman is Landon Dickerson. I think Landon Dickerson is a special offensive lineman.
Nice.
He's 6'5". He is a center, right? And we don't necessarily need a center. But we could use a guard, right? If Denzel Good plays right tackle, we could possibly use a guard.
We're gonna need a guard. Incognito is not. I don't think he's gonna stay healthy, so we're gonna need a guard.
Exactly. I think Landon Dickerson. If we took him, I know people are gonna go against this. If we took him on pick 17 to play guard, that's a future guard for the next 10 years.
Yeah, right? That's a building block. He's gonna be there. He's gonna
absolutely. Be there. He's nasty. He's physical. He's tough. The guy plays football like he's angry. Like the guy is going to be a beast, right? Yeah. And that's my number one offensive lineman. He was one of the best tackles coming out of high school. He went to FSU. It didn't work out. He ended up transferring to Alabama. Played guard and center. That's my number one guy, and I think he's a target for the Raiders, right? I don't know if we'll get him with pick 48. Some people will say it's a reach with pick 17.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's a reach if he's like a cornerstone for your friend.
I think it might be a reach at 17, but that's why I said that if we came out of this draft with a starting safety and a starting offensive lineman, I'm okay with that. We don't need 8. We got 8 picks. We don't need 8 new guys. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm totally fine with whatever we address in the first, even if it's a linebacker, right? We get one of the best linebackers in the draft. I'm okay with trading up to grab a lineman, right? Because at that point, you're picking best available player. So when you get to pick 79, 80, if you still have those picks, you're going to have to go best available safety at that point. And I'm not against the Raiders saying, look, everybody wants us to take a safety, but we already know we got Malik Hooker on the phone. We're just going to go draft what we need to draft. We can still get Richard Sherman. We can still get Hooker. There's still guys that we can get after the draft. So we don't know how they're going to play it. So even though that might be a reach at 17, I'm perfectly fine with them trading up in the second and go grabbing their lineman. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man. There's so many different things we can do here.
I know.
So many good players. Man, I really appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, I know you're gonna be so hold on. Let me get you to answer this question real quick, man. This is my bro, Lolo Green, man. Check him out, man. If the Raiders don't take a safety in the first round, how upset are you guys? Well, look, I'm only upset if the person they take that isn't Trayvon Merrick isn't Parsons, right? Anybody else, I'm gonna be extremely upset if Trayvon Merrick is there and you don't get him and you pick a lineman. I'm not picking a lineman over Trayvon Merrick.
I'm not either. I totally agree. I take Merrick with pick 17. I take my number one safety with pick 17. That's Hamza Nasruddin.
That's so crazy.
Hey man, I'll send you his.
Send me the all 22. Yeah,
I'll send it to you on Instagram. I'll send you the film. He's just bigger, man. He's a beast, man.
I hear you, man. You know what? I'm a finesse guy, man. I like Merrick savvy. He's finesse. He got a little moxie about him. Quiet guy, goes about his business. I just think he would be a good fit with Mullen and Arnett and Abram. So it's just like it's more than just the actual on field, right? It's the whole package for me. And he got that visor. He just looks like him roaming center field. You don't want to test that. You know what I mean? So that's all it is.
I actually do want to say one more thing. Everyone talks about Richie Grant, right? UCF.
Yeah.
What if I told you he isn't even the best defensive player on that team?
You're right. You're right.
You're right.
You're right. Because I think who you got? Tay going?
No. Aaron Robinson.
Aaron Robinson. Okay.
So he's a slot corner. If you guys have not watched him, go watch him. He's, in my opinion, he's better. He kind of looks like Richard Sherman in a way, man. Don't be surprised if they take him to play slot corner or something like that.
So real quick, you got Aaron Robinson better than Calvin Joseph?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Hey, you heard it here, man. Hey, I'm gonna let my guy go, man. He got more important things than to be over here arguing with me about some shit. But yo, man, I just want to let you know, man, I appreciate what you do. I appreciate your channel and your contributions and dedication to the nation. And this one was for the culture. Obviously, I'm a new channel, so I appreciate you kind of reaching back for somebody who's just on the come up. And man, thanks for joining me, man. I know the Honcho Mafia was appreciative. We thank you for all your donations, man. So yeah, man, thanks for coming through, bro. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I really appreciate you bringing me on. I hope we can do this more often.
Hell yeah.
You know, I think, believe it or not, I actually really think you're a really smart guy, man, and I think you're going to go a long way in being a content creator. I saw it from the first time I ever watched your channel. My brother actually recommended me to you, and then at the same time, you hit me up on Instagram, so it was like at the same time. So,
yeah.
Yeah, you make real good stuff, man. Keep it up, and hopefully we can talk again soon.
All right, man. I appreciate you. Look, chat, I'm going to stay on for another 30 minutes, so I'll try to follow up with some questions. Damn, Sanjit just banged on me. Yo, he just banged on me. We got a chat coming in real quick. Joel said, yeah, the real ones are on today for sure. Keep on doing your thing, boys. Raider Nation, appreciate you. So, yeah, man, we just had Sanjit in here. We was over 420, 430 people. So I appreciate all you guys, man. I'm upset that he just banged on me like that, but it is what it is, man. Shout out to his brother for putting him onto my channel, man. I really appreciate that. Dave Snow said, Honcho, bring Sanjit back soon. This was great content. I really appreciate that, man. I really appreciate that. We're trying to just, like I said, it's for the culture, man. It's not about subs or famous or popularity, nothing like that. We're just trying to get the best content for you guys. And man, shout out to all the content creators out there. But yeah, he banged on me. That was crazy. Get the strap. He just banged on me. Jesse said that was great, Honcho. Great talk, Honcho. That's what's up, Brian. Appreciate that. 831 Oakland Raiders. Yeah, he dipped on me. Tavio Harris, appreciate you, man. If you haven't, follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Raider Honcho. Subscribe to the channel, man, if you want to see more stuff like this or just talk Raiders with me. If you hit me up on Instagram or Twitter at Raider Honcho, I try to answer every single message, every tweet, every comment. I ain't bougie yet. But yeah, get at me on there, man, if y'all just want to talk, man. And yeah, Honcho, are you going live in the draft? I hope so. I hope so. Wi-Fi Willie said he pulled the AB on Juju. Yo, I was getting ready to say something. He just banged, Joe. Like he was gone. That's the only way to leave, though. Is Graphic going live tonight? I don't know. Graphic had a long night last night, man. I was going to get on, but I was with family, so I couldn't get on. TD said, great content. Thank you. I appreciate that. Cap Raiders. I wish I could say your name, man. Cap Raider Lowe's 26. Thank you. Bro said, yeet. Yeah, he out. He was out, yo. Great talk, Honcho. He dipped because of that Carr question. Nah, I thought the Carr conversation was great. You know what I'm saying? I wish my jersey was a little bigger. Man, it was hard to breathe in this shit. Hot take. Brian Edwards is gonna lead the Raiders in touchdowns. That boy Tsunami. That's possible, man. That's possible. Honcho, how many games you trying to go to with the Legion at full capacity this year? I ain't messing with that, bro. I'm not messing with that full capacity. I'm gonna go to games that have open arenas. I'm not, I had COVID before. There was no joke. So I ain't gonna, I ain't messing with that. Carr Convo was dope. Bowl cut bandit. Appreciate that. I had to I had to represent, man. I couldn't let him leave without, having to answer the tough questions. But it was great talk, man. I appreciate everybody's questions. I'm sorry if I couldn't get to your questions, but it's kind of hard when we're having a conversation and then read the comments. You know what I mean? I had to, we had to have that combo. Mike Nyers, it was a great duo. Love the show. Thank you so much. Lolo Green, make sure you watch the Nasruddin tape. He is a beast. He gotta stay healthy. Yo, that was his guy. Yo. It was his number one safety. His number one safety was Nasruddin. Shocked that he said that. And he didn't even have Andre Sisco in his top 5, and neither do I. So, but yeah, if you guys got any more questions, man, get them at me. Fresno County Watchdog says, great content, Honcho. Looking forward to seeing G and Samoan make it happen. Honcho, you already know, man. Honcho gonna make it happen. I'm gonna make it happen. Troy said you got on ankle socks. Never. You'll see me with no socks before you see me with ankle socks. I was down there in Florida. I was tempted though. It was hot as hell down there. I was tempted. But yeah, if y'all got any questions, let me know. The Carr conversation was on point. People be forgetting how many wide receivers got paid. Yeah. Who's sleeper pick on defense? A sleeper pick on defense. I'll give you one. At cornerback, a sleeper pick is Rodarius Williams, Oklahoma State corner. Sleeper at free safety, Tyree Gillespie, Missouri. Another safety is Christian Uphoff, Illinois State. At linebacker, a sleeper, Monty Rice out of Georgia, and Baron Browning out of Ohio State. Defensive tackle sleepers, Tyler Shelvin, TCU. Jay Tufele from USC, and also Bobby Brown III. I got to do some homework, man. I wonder if that's really Bobby Brown. Honcho, Sanjit, and Simone in the trifecta. We're going to work on that, man. I'm going to let them know. They busy, though. Honcho, what you doing, G? What you mean, Mex? What you mean what I'm doing? I'm in here giving y'all that work. Oh, damn, it say how you doing. My bad, man. Yeah, damn, I ain't eating. I'm under these hot lights, man. I'm doing great, man. That was a great live, man. That was epic. I appreciate all 430 plus people that was in here. Anybody that donated, I appreciate you. Anybody who came over from Sanjit's channel to check us out, man, I appreciate you as well. Icy Nate, I think we can spare him a free safety. Keep in mind, he is a 4th rounder. Icy Nate, what's up with you? Sanjit hates Carr. He's not down with the nation. Nah, man, we're not doing that. He gave his opinion on it. Fantasy football, do I play? Hey, Bowl Cut Bandit. Yo, start up a fantasy league this year and send me the invite, man. I get down with it. But if I lose, I'm getting the strap. That's a fact. Exactly. Don't think he is a good fit, but not a bad quarterback. What'd you think about Graphic at corner? I don't know, man. I saw Graphic hopping that fence. He could definitely play special teams. William Merchant, do you think Isaiah Johnson can convert to free safety? I love his size and speed. I think he can. I just don't know if he can convert to single high safety. That's the only thing. That's the single high is a little different, right? When you're playing cover 3, deep thirds, there's a lot of different things coming your way. Whether you're going to take the seam, take the post, there's a lot of things going down. Top 5 true starters in the draft. Oh, I mean, I think Trayvon Merrick is a starter. Micah Parsons is a starter. Jock is a starter. Slater is a starter. I mean, there's a lot of starters. Awesome show. Hey, appreciate that, Naaman. Send me an invite for the fantasy football too. Yeah, yo, get a Honcho. Maybe I'll start a Honcho fantasy league, yo. Need more Foster Moreau. I know, Scott. I wanted to speak about Foster Moreau because that's one of my biggest issues with Gruden as a coach is that why the hell is Foster Moreau not in the game? I'm waiting to get enough money to cop everything from you, Docs, and Spotlight. Max Raider, appreciate that, man. Thank you. Anything helps, man. You know what I mean? It ain't even about the money, man. Hit me up and we'll see if we can get you something. Benjamin St. Juice is a sleeper cornerback. I actually have him ranked. He's actually my 12th best corner in the draft. He's actually my 12th best corner. Let's do the fantasy league for real, bro. No, I'm down. I'm with it. We can do the fantasy league. My team's name is Dude, Where's My Car? And Derek Carr is the quarterback. You think Thomas has a good year? Thomas who, Kate? Solomon? I don't even know if he's going to be on the field. I don't know what other Thomas you think. How you get your name? Which one? My real name or my Honcho name? Raider Honcho, because I'm the head honcho where I'm at. You feel me? And I thought Raider Honcho sounded fire. So that's what it is. Bill Gates, thoughts on Cisco? Cisco is my number 7 safety. I actually have him behind Javon Holland. And you know I'm hesitant on Javon Holland. So if the Raiders trade back, how far can they go before you get mad? Maybe 21. 21. DeMarcus Webb, yeah. What's up with it? I'm about to get up over here soon, man. I need to eat. Quentin Booker, A Honcho, watch Jacob Harris, tight end from Central Florida. He ran a 4.39, 40-inch vertical. Could be a later round steal. Yeah, that sounds like a freaking specimen, a monster. Dick Vitale, hopefully we trade Carr Mariota and have to roll with Peterman. Yeah, I know. Dick Vitale, I hear where you're coming from because everybody talks so badly about Derek Carr. And it's like, I'm going to do a video about the Raiders quarterbacks the last 20 years, and then maybe they'll have some appreciation for Derek Carr. Jose Lopez, appreciate the donation, but I appreciate that you subbed even more, man. That means you like the content. You checked in. You did your due diligence, man. And I really appreciate that. I appreciate anybody that subs to the channel, man. So thanks a lot, man. I really appreciate that. Eat some rice pudding. I love rice pudding, man, but I'm kind of on a diet right now, so I can't really do that. I got Bobby Brown in the 5th, and they graded me a D+. Well, if you're on PFF, don't worry about that, man. They be bugging. How about Deontay Brown? I tell you what, PFF, my son did a mock draft. He's 10 years old, and he got an A-. So, you know what I mean? That's tell you what you need to know about PFF. T. Jones, Honcho, who's the best pass rusher in the draft? Well, I mean, if you're talking about from the defensive line, like as far as DT interior, if you're going interior, bless you. If you're going interior, I think Christian Barmore is probably head and shoulders, above the rest. I like Aleem McNeil also, defensive tackle as far as getting to the quarterback. But when you're talking about if you're talking about from the edge, I mean, there's so many different places you can go, man. I really like Aziz. He's coming off the edge. I like the boy from Miami a lot. I know a lot of people ain't really, super high on him yet, but Jalen from Miami he just looks like a stud, man. An absolute stud. What, man? Don't ask me no questions, but I'm already asking my questions right here.
What do you think about Jabril Cox?
What do I think about Jabril Cox? I think Jabril Cox is probably the third best. Let me see. I got Jabril Cox as my fourth best linebacker. My son wanted to ask me that.
So you think we could get him at 48?
Nah, I don't think he'll be there at 48. I don't think he'll be there at 48. I don't think he'd be there. Thoughts on Vera Tucker playing right tackle? I like Vera Tucker, but he's not going to be available anywhere we can pick him. And I damn sure don't want to pick him at 17. Bless you, King. Part of my jag said, bless you, King. Yo, Honcho, I need your take. You think Waller better than Kittle? Truthfully, I got into a debate with someone. Kittle is not better than Waller. I mean, if I'm being honest, I don't think Darren Waller is better than Kittle, but I don't think Kittle is better than Waller. You know what I mean? I think they both do different things better than each other. But I think when you even it out, you know what I mean? When you even it out, I think they're right there, because you got to think Darren Waller on a better team. I hate to say it, but he'd be even better. So it's hard to say. And if you put Kittle on our team, I don't know if he excels the way Waller did. So I don't know. I don't think either one is better. I think that you can't mess with either one. Eric says Cisco flashes all over. You watch Syracuse and you just see him. Very good range, ball skills, and loves to hit. You are out of your mind not liking Cisco for our defense. I am not out of my mind. Name me a safety in college football that gave up more big plays than Andre Cisco. And then name a team in the NFL that gave up more big plays than the Las Vegas Raiders. So I just don't think you mix fire with fire. I'm not trying to give the guy who makes the biggest bonehead mistakes at safety and put him on a team that already has that same issue. You know what I mean? Raider Nation, let's get it this year. Thanks for putting on a great show, Honcho. Appreciate you, man. I'm about to sign off, but it's still 300 people in here. And I'm like, yo, if y'all got questions, you know what I mean? Get them out. A breakout player on defense. A breakout player on our defense is going to be this year. A breakout player on our defense this year. Cleveland Farrell. Jonathan Abram. Yeah. That's what I got. Derek Carr stat prediction for next year. I think Derek Carr goes for 4,500 yards, 30 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. What about Jamin Davis? Jamin Davis, I actually got him ranked pretty high as a linebacker. I got Jamin Davis as my number 6 linebacker. My linebacker rankings. All right, here we go. I'm going to give you my top 15 linebackers right now. DK, year. I'm going to give you my 15 top linebackers right now. My top 15. All right. At number 1, we'll start from 1 to 15 because we already know who 1 is, right? So we're going to go Micah Parsons from Penn State. We're going to go Jock from Notre Dame. At number 3, we got Zaven Collins from Tulsa. Number 4, Jabril Cox from LSU. Number 5, Nick Bolton from Missouri. Number 6, Jamin Davis from Kentucky. I think at number 7, I have Monty Rice from Georgia. Number 8, Justin Hillard from Ohio State. Number 9, Dylan Moses from Bama. Number 10, Chaz Surratt from USC. I really like that kid. 11, Pete Warner from Ohio State. Number 12, Baron Browning from Ohio State. Number 13, Cameron McGrone from Michigan. Number 14, Ernest Jones from South Carolina. And number 15, which is a wild card, I have Riley Cole from South Alabama. Those are my top 15 linebackers. I know none of y'all really give a damn, but I said it. Those are my top 15 linebackers. Hot take, Brian Edwards will outperform Henry Ruggs this year. Yo, that's not a hot take, that boy Tsunami. That's not a hot take. I've already said 3 months ago that Brian Edwards is going to be our best receiver next year. Period. How about Joseph Asai or OC? I say Asai. I think he's really good. I don't think he's going to be available for us. Bro, you have Baron Browning low. I mean, what do you want me to say, man? That's just what I said. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. I mean, I'm not. I will agree that you probably could put Barron over Chad Surratt, but outside of that, I mean, he's not going above Pete Warner. I think Pete Warner's better. I think Dylan Moses is better. I think Monty Rice is better. Don't forget Waller only been a starting tight end for 2 seasons. I agree, Bill Gates. Dox is still taking shots. No, Dox is still detoxing from the shots he took last night. Secret sleepover. Will Barmar be there at 17? I really don't think so. Which free agent you hope to contribute the most? It gotta be Yannick. Dylan Moses is going to be a sleeper. I already said that. He was 2 of my sleepers that I said. What's your opinion on Hazma Nazardine? I'm telling you, I didn't have him ranked as high as Sanjit. Sanjit had him as number 1. He had him as number 1. I was so appalled and taken back, I couldn't even argue it because I was so unprepared for the actual conversation of him being his number 1 safety. It was nothing I could say, but okay. There was nothing I could say. Henry Renfrow is going to be our leading receiver. He's not. He's not. With the inclusion of Snead and Brown, who are starting wide receivers this year, I think it's going to be Brian Edwards, Brown on the outside. On the outside. And then I think it'll be Henry Ruggs and Renfrow inside, Darren Waller tight end. How far out are we to be AFC Championship? I think it's we're 2 pieces on defense away. Alpha defensive tackle and a rangy ball hawking safety. And then I think that's a wrap. I think we can compete with the Chiefs. We outplayed them for 8 quarters last year. Sanjit spends a ton of time on tape. Yeah, you should. I mean, when you're an opinionated person and this is what you do, you should spend a lot of time on tape. I spend a lot of time on tape myself. But I don't watch as much on one player as Sanjit probably does because I mean, I'm in it, right? I'm in it. I coach players. I've been a player. When you're around it as long as I have, and I'm saying he hasn't, right? You can kind of see what's going on, right? I don't need to watch 7 games of a guy. You can watch if a guy has a motor. You can watch if he's high energy. You can watch if he's a dog, if he takes plays off. You can watch if he has aggressive hands, strong hands. If you're talking about a DB, you can tell if he has good eyes, bad eyes, good hips, tight hips, can't backpedal, can't tackle. Those are things I can kind of see very early. Kevin Lurker, where would you rank Brian Edwards if he was in the draft? I think Brian Edwards, injury-free Brian Edwards would have been a first-round pick last year. So, I mean, I don't think he's better than Waddle or Devontae. I don't know. That'd be tough. I might take a healthy Brian Edwards over Waddle. I might. Honcho, Canelo, or Saunders? Oh, Canelo. Dream pick at 17 for me is Trayvon Merrick. If you go back and watch my first mock draft that I did in February, I took Trayvon Merrick 1. And that draft was a low-key banging draft. I think I took Trayvon Merrick. I got Oway from Penn State. I had some fire people in that pick. Still a chance at getting Sherman after the draft, saying what we get everything else. I think there's a chance that we don't draft a safety in the beginning because they already know they're going to go sign a safety. For all I know, Malik Hooker could be our starting safety the next 2-3 years. And then they use a 4th-round pick on the safety this year. I'm okay with that. If you don't get a safety in this draft because you already know you're getting Malik Hooker, I'm okay with that. Because I don't know if I would take a rookie over Malik Hooker right now. I would rather have Trayvon Merrick, but I can be okay with it. I can live with that. I won't be able to live with not getting Trayvon Merrick and having Richie Grant as our starting safety next year. I just don't think that's going to be it for us. Can you stop being a baby and cut your beard, Honcho? What are you talking about being a baby? And I don't even have a beard, Jerry George. How you got 2 first names? I never trust nobody with 2 first names, bro. Be a baby and cut your beard? I don't have a beard. The hell he talking about? What you think about? Oh, I don't even know that guy. RCS 310. I don't know that guy. I don't know. I got to get my composure back. He talking about being a baby, cutting my beard. Like, what? I don't know what that's about. All right, get them questions in. Raider Andy at right tackle. Y'all disrespectful. It's Whiskers. Why y'all always worry about my appearance? Tapped in at work. Hey, appreciate that, Marvin. Appreciate that. 2 first names. Yeah, for real, yo. You got 2 first names, fam. You out here calling me out. Raiders drafted Honcho at 17 to play safety. No. I'll be an undrafted free agent. You don't gotta waste a pick on me. You don't even have to pay me to play for the Raiders. Just give me the fire merch. Let me get the free hotels. That's it. That's it. Tell Derek Carr to let me speak at his church. The Honcho got the words of wisdom. You know what I'm saying? Honcho, would you keep Morrow or get Parsons, or you think he isn't? No. Yo, Parsons and Morrow. No, Morrow. I don't want Morrow after this season. That's why I already said we need to draft 2 linebackers in this draft. We need to take 2 linebackers. Period. Two linebackers, period. But yo, man, I'm about to get up off of here, man. There's 265 people still in here, man. So I feel bad for signing off. Carlos, if we don't take Merrick, sign Honcho as a free safety. I gotta lose some weight, man. I'll be the damn Leo. I'm like 215. Nah, I ain't that big. I'm like 205 right now. I need to get down to like 195. Sign Graphic as a slot corner. Yeah, thanks. I'll take a linebacker over safety in the first round, only if it's Parsons. There's not another linebacker I would take over Merrick outside of Parsons. Not a linebacker. Didn't mean to say that. I meant do you think we don't need a linebacker? No, we need a linebacker. We need a linebacker. What rounds do we draft a linebacker? I think we draft a linebacker at one of those 3rd round picks, either 79 or 80. Honcho Mafia out. Yeah, Ray, appreciate you coming through. What rounds do we a lot of Raider fans in Puerto Rico? That's what's up. We worldwide, baby. What rounds do we draft linebackers? I already said that at 79 and 80. It's all good, Honcho. Go eat. Yeah, I'm gonna eat, man. I'm gonna eat. Honcho next stud free safety. Nah, I wouldn't be no stud. Y'all be out here bashing me as soon as somebody beat me deep. But you know what? You beat me deep, I'm just gonna trip you. I take the spot of the foul over you just getting a touchdown on me. I tell you that much. I'm gonna tackle your ass. Great show. We out. Kevin Lurk, appreciate you. Carlos, get the strap. You already know I stay with the strap, baby. So yeah, yo, I appreciate everybody who came in tonight. I want to thank Sanjit again, like I said, for reaching back and bringing somebody some recognition that's just starting out, man. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that for him and Graphic. Graphic did the same thing for me. And for people to reach back and kind of bring people along with on this journey, I can't thank them enough, man. So always shout out to my bro Graphic, and definitely shout out to Sanjit for coming through tonight, man. It was a fire show, man. I thought the content was fire. I thought the conversation was fire, and y'all fire for being in the chat and putting up with all of our arguing or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? So I appreciate everybody who was in here tonight, man. Over 430 people. I couldn't ask for a better turnout. Y'all showed up. Y'all showed out. The Honcho Mafia. Yeah. So there's only one thing left to say, man. Until the next time. Raider Honcho out.